Holla ballers and a bro fist to you all. Once again, we're here with you on a fine Friday where we've had a blaster of a week playing all kinds of games. It's been great. Just played some Halo 2. Fantastic. Massive improvement over the first one, and the first one was already good. So I'm having a good old time. I'm going to be finishing that on Monday, which is going to be great. Yes, we did some good stuff this week. We tried some different things. Dispatch was there. Black screen again. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, there we go. Hey, there it is. Seems to be having some sort of delay. Chat is broken. Oh, it's working now. There you go. You can wave at all the YouTube guys. Hello. Hello. Yeah, unfortunate there. Okay. Drama time. For years and years, you guys have submitted stories to us. And the show doesn't exist without us, without you guys. So we always love hearing from you. You can send it to drama@preachgaming.com from the weird and wonderful encounters you've had online. We've got an interesting one in front of us today. Bex, the description I have here, because Bex usually puts a little blurb next to it to see what we might fancy along our journey. It just says, this is really fucking insane. That's it. That's all it says, is it's really fucking insane. So I promised we would start with this today. I don't know how long it'll take us. I don't know where our journey goes. I see the game, though. This is interesting. Okay. I believe this is our first tale from this. Fallout Heisenberg is the name of this story. And it takes place in Fallout 76. Interesting. That's a game I kind of want to check out, you know. It's gone through a bizarre life cycle and is now apparently pretty goddamn good. So that might be an adventure that we go on at some point. Yeah, apparently it's very good now. I don't know. So we'll see. Maybe it's had a bit of a No Man's Sky type renaissance, or perhaps not, and it sucks. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, our star of this bizarre and insane story will be Von Luger, one of our website supporters. Appreciate you, Von Luger, for being a part of this journey and enabling this show. Okay. Yeah, let's not turn it into what Fallout 76 is. Let's start with this. I don't really know anything about it, other than what was made of it with the hemp bag and all that kind of nonsense and the disappointment of launch. But that's my knowledge, so we'll go in there and keep it that way, right? That's pretty good. Where's me gavel? Just in case we do need to judge somebody rightfully for being guilty or innocent. Oh my god, my gavel unscrews. Look at that. Let's not do that, though. I'll break it. Okay. Oh, you're getting... sorry, live audience joining us here on Twitch and on YouTube. Hello. You are being buttered up, as per usual, my friends. Hello, Preacher! And the ever so wise, discerning, respectable, and elegant chat. Elegant. That's a word that doesn't get thrown around near enough. You're elegant. Oh, my. Oh, my. We could ride the Titanic in first class if we so chose to. Yes. Yes. Mike, put your gavel down. I'm guilty as fuck. Oh. Well, fair enough, then. Unlike many here who submit their tales to the drama judgment, to the court of public opinion, I know what I did was bad. I know. Honestly, when I look back on it, I can barely believe it's what I did, but I did do it, and I am here to air it out to the world. That's fine. A lot of people do use drama time as a way of getting it off their chest, and I have to tell somebody. Why not tell thousands of people? At least with anonymity. Not only that, Mike, I have already been judged. I've already been judged. Interesting. Mike, what I ask of you, and I ask of that wise and discerning chat, is something different than judgment. What I require at the end of this tale is whether or not anybody who hears these words understands my actions. So we know he's guilty, but can we see the point? Can we see why it happened? Can we? Can we, as unbiased and multitudes of cultures and everything else that is bearing witness today, understand? Maybe. Before I begin, I write this story not just to share, but so I can reminisce and try to remember this chapter of my life. The details do blur throughout the passage of time, as you well know. And I hope that in the coming decades, this is one way I can remember what I did through rewatching Drama Time. You know, I have never thought of that. Isn't that weird? 10 years I've been doing this show, and I have never thought of somebody having their sort of scroll written and added to the annals so that they could maybe watch it again when they're like old. That's really cool. Aw, you've made me feel a bit sentimental, actually. That's really cool. I've really never thought of it that way. I wonder. See, you got me going down a road now. I wonder when I'm all like, I don't know, 50p brain, pissing myself and all that, as I'll sit and watch some Drama Times. In the old people home, I'll just crack on some Drama Time. Yeah. Oh, so next week. Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, you know, my birthday is next month. You all better be nice to me, right? I want one day where these wonderful people are just like, good on you, you know? No. No, just one day. One day out of the year. Mike, let's go way back in time. We're going to November 14th, 2018. Holy shit. Is Fallout 76 that old? Wow. It's really that old. Almost 7 years old to the day, actually. Jesus Christ. That's wild. I remember it like pretty recently, all that stuff with it. Yeah, that time has been flying. The last few years have flown by. Absolutely flown by. We've done so much stuff. It's 2018, November 14th, in one of the greatest countries to grace the history of mankind, the US of A. I love America. I really do. I really do. A little iffy at the moment, though. On this day was the release of one of the greatest games ever created. The next installment in a beloved gaming franchise that could do us no wrong. How could it? That's right. Fallout. Fallout 76 was about to grace us. And for the first time ever, we were going to get that beautiful, wonderful world all to share. Now, I know what you're thinking, and I agree with most of the opinions, but I kid you not, Fallout 76 changed the entire course of my life. Okay, all right, I'm into it. I was a senior in college at this point, finishing my worthless degree, business management. Because of this degree, my classes were relatively easy, aside from the constant group projects that required me to socialize with people who I considered dirty normies. I mean, I did international economics, and a subsection of my degree was business management, and I agree. It is horrific. It is mind-numbingly simple, and it's just the worst. It's just the worst. Those group projects and presentations, holy shit, dude. It is the worst. It's like doing less than high school difficulty stuff, and people really struggle. It's such a drag. It's such a drag. And so, Mike, I had time on my hands. And if I didn't have time on my hands, I would make time on my hands to the detriment of my grades. Oh, God. It is a Wednesday when Fallout 76 arrives on our screens. Wednesday happened to be the day when most of my classes were scheduled. But as you well know, that doesn't matter. I was not going to miss 7 hours of gaming for education under any circumstances. And just as a reminder of all, World of Warcraft Midnight launches in March, not February, if you're booking your vacation for your expansion. I just would like to reiterate that point, is that it is in March, not February. Given the drama that happened this week with World of Warcraft. Jesus Christ. Fucking comedy. Absolute comedy. And so, like a good gamer, I skipped my classes as naturally as I breathed. And Mike, let me tell you, Fallout 76, in my opinion, at launch was... ... okay. Wasn't the best. It was very buggy. But I had fun. The questing, the leveling, the gun collecting, the interacting with other players, the base building. I was certainly mired by one too many bugs, but that didn't bother me, you see. I got my money's worth. No doubt about that. Once you got to the end game, you would collect rare items, farm for end game weapons and armor, launch nukes at certain places on the map or other players' homes. You can nuke other people's homes. That is interesting. That is very interesting. There was also bosses and stuff, but I had a fun time. For me, the majority of my end game consisted of collecting powerful items, the weapons and armor. In this game, when you looted anything, there was a chance a legendary item would drop. Ah, a chance! And a chance is all it takes, my friends. A chance! The item could then roll between 1 to 3 stars. The more stars, the more passive effects it had. Yay! Gamba, 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 gamba. So ideally, you would get a 3-star item. However, the passive effects each star granted were also random. Woohoo! Shiny, shiny, shiny. So a 1-star weapon could have an extremely good passive that was better than a 3-star weapon that had 3 shitty passives. Oh, that sounds so fun. And there were a lot of shitty passives. Think of it like the Azerite armor. Oh. With this system in place, trading and collecting became one of the most popular activities in the game. However, Fallout 76 was a game with a lot of bugs. Some of those bugs, as you probably know, are dupe glitches. Duping and duping. Now, as a top-tier Fallout 76 collector, I was aware that there was a duplication glitch. But I also knew it wasn't something that everybody knew yet. True, I've taken part in this. No, I know a guy who took part in this in a different game. I would never. I would never. And that guy duped a lot of extremely rare items. A lot of them. I tell you what, that guy didn't put one of those duped items up for a developer run auction that was happening to see if they would get banned for bans. That guy definitely didn't do that. It was really funny though. Did he get banned? He did not get banned. Actually, what made it even more fun, I wasn't there, obviously, but the way it was told to me is that it was actually what you had to do was go to the game developers who had in-game characters in this place and trade them the item to be sold because they were running the auction. And when this person traded this extraordinarily rare item, so rare in fact that it was broken for the first 3 years of the game and was inaccessible completely because they couldn't fix the quest, they actually went in all caps, "Oh my god, you guys are not going to believe what some generous soul has offered up for the auction today," which made it extra special. So I heard. That's how it went down. So I heard. Good times. Very few people had access to the exact secret steps the source, if you will, and did not want to share this information. With a duplication glitch, I would be able to duplicate my best items and easily trade those replicas, as we'll call them, or other rare guns and assemble the ultimate perfect collection. And so, I went to YouTube. There I found a video of someone who had a working dupe. However, they could not figure out how they had caused the dupe to happen. Whatever they were showing was that they had created a bug in their base structure that would crash the server and cause a rollback when they performed a certain action, allowing them to deposit rare items in a box, have another player take them, and leave the server saving their inventory, then intentionally crash the server, cause the server to roll back, and the items would then be back in the box. Like, I spent 10 hours watching, analyzing everything with this video, trying to get it to do it again. I don't remember the exact cause, but eventually it happened. What it was, I don't know, but the conditions were right for the dupe. Except this time, I knew the rules for how it worked, and I could share this with anyone. I was the one who managed to find the secret source. Now, of course, as you can imagine, as a collector, I was really excited. And I immediately, without pause, started duping and trading my rare items. And thus, my vast collection started to grow. As a side note, yes, every other player in that server got fucked when I crashed it. And they could have lost pretty good progress and loot due to my rollbacks, which I did many times. See, that's too obvious, right? Like, that's how you get found out, dude. Because that's how you get found out. Like, that's... You got to be careful. You've got to time it right. It's got to be like the middle of the night. It's got to be in weird times so that less people are getting pissed off. I will say this, though. It was absolutely fucking worth. However, I wanted, of course, the best of the best items. Out there in the wild, there were weapons of legendary power. Through the combination of two affixes, these weapons were able to instantly delete most of the enemies in the game, even bosses intended for large groups of players. These guns, as some of you might know, were known as the two-shot explosive weapons. They combined the two-shot passive, which made guns shoot twice instead of once for double damage, with the explosive affix, which added a damage modifier and made gunshots do explosive AoE. I'm not sure how these two interacted, but the damage they did when they multiplied together was absurd. It felt like instead of doing 100 to 200% damage, you were getting 1,000% extra damage from this combination. And so that was my target. I made it my mission to collect every possible two-shot explosive combo that existed. From handguns, laser guns, rifles. You can get explosive laser guns. That's funny. Rifles, shotguns, etc. They were, of course, as you can imagine, extremely rare. And people, especially those unaware of the dupe, were ever unwilling to part with them once they had got one. So, I went back to YouTube again. The video of the duplication glitch. There I posted that I had figured out how it worked and would be willing to share in trade for these super rare weapons. Huh. That's clever. Because then they're not losing their weapon. I like this plan. In a devious, evil kind of way, this is a good plan, though. Mike, I would now like to introduce you all to the first character on this story. His name was Von Luger. Von Luger was Texan. When we spoke, you could just drip off that slight Texan accent. And he was very, very, very interested in what I had to offer. In exchange, he had the two-shot explosive shotgun. But before that, we had to figure out a way to establish trust. What's your game plan here? dispense with morality for a moment. You have a dupe glitch. The deal is you will share how it's done in trade for a weapon. What's the process here? Do you ask that person to give you the weapon and you will dupe it and trade it back? Or will you tell them how to dupe first? Or will you do a test run and show that it is possible to dupe it in some way? Send nudes to establish trust. Dupe a trash item first. You have to be careful. It has to be something that can't already be in someone's inventory, right? It has to be something that needs to be exact, so you know it's duplicated and it's not just another version of it, right? Something like that. That's difficult. He was right. I could just be a scammer who would take the weapon and run. So as proof, he gave me a specific set of items, watched what I did, and then had me duplicate them. I did it. But I felt that this dupe glitch was worth more than his weapon. He was so excited after proof of the dupe glitch that he definitely was open to paying more. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. I thought about it. Oh, you motherfucker. Oh, what did he ask for? He is getting greedy. What's he asking for? Have a guess. What's he asking for? What do you think? Given what you know about Fallout 76. Another weapon? No. It does involve IRL money. Yeah, it does. It does involve it, but in a very specific way. It's not feet pics on nudes. Jesus Christ. You guys are such freaks. I put to him that in order to get the glitch, he had to buy me another copy of Fallout 76, allowing me to do more of the process on my own, carry more items, and dupe more efficiently. Without a moment's hesitation, he agreed. Why? But after maybe there's a twister. Texas Oil Man, yeah. But after hanging out and talking about the game, our lives, and the dupe glitch, Von Luger and I struck a chord. I taught him the duplication glitch, and I told him not to worry about the extra copy. Befriended. And on that day, Von Luger and I created one of Fallout 76's finest item collections the Wasteland had ever seen. We became very good friends and would play together all the time. During this time, Von Luger told me about how he would go to prison soon. Bex, where is this going? Yeah, I wasn't expecting that twist of the tale, I'll be honest with you. He was scheduled to go into prison early in the new year. I don't know all the details, but he was caught committing fraud and had a scheduled date from when he had to go inside. And he's spending his final precious weeks or months playing Fallout 76. That's insane. What else would you do? I don't know. Play something else, maybe. Based. Visit things. See things. Enjoy the outside world. Go and get your taste buds all happy for a while. I don't know. So before that date, we would play and amass a circle of friends, clearing content with the most powerful weapons in the game. Eventually, though, some dickhead found a different dupe glitch. And it went public, the fucking moron. Someone ruined all the fun by sharing. Suddenly, subreddits, all sorts, trading discords started having stupid warning signs. As now, super powerful items that were up for expensive amounts were not to be trusted. Even though most people who traded clearly were duping inventories and duping themselves, you had to put out this public message that, be careful, don't dupe. Certain items were so clearly duped that they were outright banned from being traded anymore. If you were caught trading with the knowledge that your items were definitely duped, you were starting to get banned from all the places you could trade. At this point, these idiots had ruined my fun. I no longer felt special. Oh, did you not? That's a shame. You didn't feel special anymore. It was like getting WoW cutting edge mount early, and 10 weeks later, everyone has one. What's the point? You cheated. There is no fucking way you expect sympathy from anybody here because you cheated and then everybody else was cheating, right? Like, what do you mean? That brings an end to the first act of this tale. As Christmas approached, and my collection was no longer sacred, I lost interest in 76 and moved on. Okay. It was on this Christmas break where I was with my family. Happy Thanksgiving, America, by the way. And here is where the story takes a little turn. One day, during this break, I was browsing YouTube. And there, a video caught my eye. A YouTuber who creates content on gaming news released a video on Fallout 76. The video talked about how the game was bad, had a ton of bugs, how Bethesda sucks, etc., etc. And one of the major parts of this video was regarding bugs related to duping. The YouTuber talked about how... Oh no. People were selling these duped items on eBay and other websites. Who the fuck is paying money for Fallout 76 items during that period of time? In other words, RMT. Now, after watching this video, I thought, I do have a lot of items. Like, a lot. Can I sell these items on eBay if other people are doing it? Mike, I haven't meant to mislead you, but this is not a story of me assembling one of the greatest item collections in Fallout 76. This is the story of how I created one of the most obscene RMT empires in Fallout 76. Please come along for the ride. You motherfucker. Oh, no. What is this Black Friday story? Oh, no. It's absurd. Okay. At this point in the history of Fallout 76 duping, the public glitch and the one I figured out had been fixed rather quickly once it had been revealed. Both glitches involved crashing servers via player input to create a rollback. However, the patch was not a fix, but a band-aid. No. Bethesda? No. The crashes still caused rollbacks. They just patched ways to prevent players from intentionally crashing the servers. And so, having come back into the game with a now financial incentive, I reached out to my boy Von Luger. Von Luger had never quit. Von Luger had never stopped collecting. Von Luger had made a lot of friends. I said, if you're already going to prison for fraud, do you want to start selling these duped items on eBay? That's a fucking line that you text someone, isn't it? That's hard for me to process that those words were put together in that sentence. Right? That's crazy. Can you imagine typing that without, like, bants? I like it. Me who approves. She says, you know what? Straight to the point. He was extremely supportive. Oh, yeah. Yeah, why not? And told me that, to be honest, he'd already sold a couple of items. He said he was due for prison within the next few weeks and was just taking it easy for the most part, playing 76 casually. Not knowing I would sell items in the future, I did not go crazy with the duping outside of trading. So my inventory compared to his was pretty small. I told Von Luger that whenever a new dupe glitch was found, I was going to dupe every fucking thing I had and try and sell it. However, Von Luger already found the new dupe glitch. And it wasn't just any dupe glitch. After all the bans and patches that Bethesda had done, he hadn't told fucking anybody. He hadn't even mentioned to anybody at all that he knew of a dupe glitch, even amongst our friends that were regular dupers when the glitches existed. With his many connections in the 76 community, he was actually a part of a secret group that was all about exploiting and cheating in Fallout 76. And though this group had been given access to some elements of the method, it was his parting gift to me. Oh, Jesus Christ. Once he explained it to me, it turned out this was not a glitch. Instead, he gave me something called injector code. Basically, it ran a program that would intentionally crash the server. And since dupes were based on the server rollbacks, all I had to do was click a little button and cause a rollback. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the foundations of my empire begin to take shape. Step 1. I created various accounts on eBay and other websites that I shall not name here. I had a really big inventory and was ready to post literally all of it. My first issue was that eBay had limitations regarding how much I could do as a new seller. So, I made it work. It turns out that I tapped into a talent that I wish I had known while studying for my education. I have a talent for studying not education, but the competition and making my listings better. Where some idiots were selling singular items, I decided to come up with bundles. Instead of buy one 2-shot explosive weapon for $7, I was buy 5 2-shot explosive weapons of your choice for $24. That's right. I developed the art of bundling and doing discounts. Within a week or so, my listings began to outsell the competition. And I had infinite inventory. My ratings as a seller were pristine. And then Wales started gaining my trust and making requests. Remember, I was a student. Within a couple of weeks, I was making more money than I could possibly have imagined, not only at that age and time, but within my first few years of employment. In 14 days, I made $4,286. I was excited and terrified. I didn't even tell Von Luger how much money was coming in. When he asked me about how my selling endeavors were going, I told him I'd had a couple of sales, but there's a lot of people and a lot of competition, so it's not exactly lucrative, you know. He believed me. He didn't know what my accounts were called. I was afraid that if he realized how much money I was making within only 2 weeks, he would probably want to do it too. And fuck that. The world of scamming, where the scammers start scamming each other and the scams go cyclical until we're all in a never-ending maelstrom of scamboozle. Nobody trusts a fucking anybody whatsoever. Is he being greedy or smart? I would be tempted to share. right? And get both of them working on it or something. But he clearly does not need the other person at all. Is it wrong? This is going to sound way out of line considering they're scamming people, right? But in theory, in business, is it wrong if you have the motivation, the means, and the ambition to take something and make it considerably better? Is that wrong? Even though you both have access to the same thing. I don't think that's wrong. But then again, I'm not a scamboozle. He did have the tool. He gave it to him. He did have the tool. He passed it on, which in some way I would share with him. What I would probably do is send him something, but maybe not half. Like, I couldn't have done this without you kind of thing. Okay, let's see where it goes. A few days later, Von Luger sent me the message that it was about time he went to prison. Mike, that was the last time I ever spoke to him. Oh, Jesus Christ. I sent him a couple of messages throughout the year, but he never replied. That's really dark. I mean, he's not going to, like, max security, right? Let's just put it that way. He's not going to some fucking brutal prison. It's a white-collar crime. He's going to end up in some fucking place where it's got a TV in it. And you know what I mean? Something like that. Still prison, though. Prison's prison. Depends how much fraud you did. I don't know the laws, thankfully, on fraud. I count my lucky stars for that. But I think if you're getting scheduled to go to prison, which is a thing, where they tell you you're due to go into prison in January or February or whatever, you're usually not, like, you've not done something incredibly bad. Usually that's straight to jail. I might be wrong on that, though. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I have no idea. And it might be different state by state, maybe, in the US. I don't know. Amidst my college studies, I had suddenly found myself of having a full-time job. Every hour, I would get multiple notifications of purchases being made on my phone. College was now getting in the way of my business. So I decided to reinvest into my business. Oh my God. With my ill-gotten gains, I bought myself a really nice gaming laptop. And suddenly, college was no longer a place of learning, but a place of quiet where I could get to work and make real fucking money. Whether it be my small classes or my big classes, I had 3 instances of Fallout 76 open. Conducting business, duping on 2 of them, and trading items between the accounts. Are you just chain crashing the server, though? That's the only way that this works, right? You are just chain crashing the servers. Just over and over again. Hour after hour, just chain crashing this. You absolute arsehole. Sounds terrible. It just sounds terrible. So we've got some people here who are familiar with 76. Can you trade cross-server? Is that a thing? Can you trade cross-server? Because are you limited to your server? It does not have to be the same server. So you can, like, cross-server it. It's just small instances. Oh, my God. Todd Howard's going to personally go and punch you. Well, I feel like we've had a couple of stories like this in the past where the sort of masterminds between sort of famous or historical gaming moments have submitted to Drama Time. We had the guy who created Gear Score. You remember that one. Are all the crashes, people listening to this who played Fallout 76 in those first few months, who were getting chain crashed and blaming Bethesda, and it's you piece of shit. It's fucking you. It's fucking you. These guys having this miserable gaming time in a game they bought, and it's fucking you. Still Bethesda's fault. In part, but I mean, this guy's also intentionally doing it. I wonder if they couldn't track it down. All right, let's see where the story goes. I assume he gets busted at some point. Is it possible to create an uncrashable game? I mean, I assume it's possible, but Christ. Okay. I had 3 instances of Fallout 76 open, conducting business, duping, trading items between accounts. You name it. My inventory had become so large that I now had to buy more Fallout accounts to manage my inventory. Within the first month, I had many accounts on RMT websites, eBay, and even conducted business now via a discreet personal Discord. For those who would rather go to me directly than use some intermediary website in order to conduct business. I know this is going to make some of your audience sick, but I swear to all of you, this is the truth. Within 4 weeks, I made $10,921. Suddenly, I stopped seeking out item trades to dupe. The opportunity cost of the time spent was too much. I simply transferred to just buying anything I didn't have in the collection to begin duping it. But then, it all changed in February of that year. So what year would this be? 2019? I think that adds up chronologically. 2019? So it didn't last long, because the game came out in November, and this is all going to go tits up in February. So it was a very flash in the pan. If we're working correctly with the timeline here, this looks like it was a very short-lived dream. So what changed? Rumors began circulating that Bethesda intended on patching the server crash rollbacks, killing the dupe method. And not only that, there were also rumors that duplicated items were now traceable and going to be mass removed from player inventories. Oof. 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 The majority of people didn't think this was going to pass, considering the history Fallout 76 had at that point. But I did. I was making a lot of fucking money. And bad news, rumor or not, I took very seriously. And so, I decided to take preventative measures. What are you going to do? Yeah, if they all have the same item ID, no matter what you do, they're going to get removed, right? I mean, surely you've set up your accounts in a way that you can disappear like a fart in a jacuzzi whenever, because everybody who's paid all this money for shit is just going to have empty inventory soon. Yeah, I'd be more afraid of being traced or tracked at this point, I think. If I was running this little criminal empire, I'd be more afraid of being found. And in fact, how can you hide it? Because unquestionably, you can maybe go to eBay and say this account has been selling dupes and it's tied to a bank account somewhere, right? I doubt you've got like offshore accounts running your Fallout 76 gun duping business. He's going to kidnap Todd? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure you could be traced doing this. Would they do anything? Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Oh, well, he's not. Okay. We're on the wrong track. He is absolutely not thinking of an escape plan. I think he's doubling down. I think he's doubling down. Step 1 was to buy each account would have 5 characters. So step 1 was to purchase many new accounts. On all of the new accounts, I made 5 new characters. On each character, I began to distribute the inventory. However, to make a character in Fallout 76, you have to do the introductory quest to leave the vault and make a base with a stash. This was frustrating and time-consuming when making numerous accounts, but now instead of having one character holding hundreds of each item, every single character and every account had multiple copies of each weapon and armor. What's your plan here? If they're going to mass erase everything, it doesn't matter, right? Some characters had other non-weapon armor items en masse, so that I would have inventory outside of just equipment. After dozens of hours of spreading inventory across many, many accounts, I braced for the worst. Are you just hoping some of them don't get caught in the wave? Is that the plan? Excuse me, it's my son. You okay, son? No, why are you at the bus stop? I assume it's resolved. He put the phone down. Mummy's late to pick him up. Mummy's late. I see. Sometimes I'm late, but Mummy is worse somehow because, I don't know, misogyny. It's worse. After dozens of hours of spreading inventory across many accounts, I braced for the worst. And boy, did the worst happen. The dupe apocalypse, they called it. The dupe purge. Characters with multiple stacks of any weapon and armor had the stack reduced to 1. In other words, if you had a 20 stack of 2-shot explosive weapon, the stack was no longer a stack, but a singular... Wait, Bethesda, you dumb bastards. Oh, Bethesda targeted the suppliers and not the innocent people that bought these weapons. Oh, Bethesda. I can see the point, though. I can see the point. It's like, is it right to punish all those people who maybe bought them in-game legitimately, not knowing it was a dupe? Right? Sure, some people have been RMTing it, but you imagine most people have been buying these, utilizing perhaps stuff they farmed over hundreds of hours and shit like that. Right? Just buying them the correct way that you're supposed to be buying these things. Should they be punished as well? Just get rid of it all. I think the decision's been made by Bethesda here. Is like, if we can stop them duping it and we just cut it down to 1. The actual solution is to reduce the power of those weapons and release newer weapons. If you're confident you fixed the duping, is to make those weapons outdated. That's probably a solution you can go with. Reduce everybody to 1. That doesn't affect any innocent people, and then release something that's better. Or nerf those weapons in some way if they're already doing like 1,000%. There's always somebody who's going to suffer this way. There's always going to be someone that suffers. Suddenly, 95% of my competition was wiped out. Everyone pulled their items. But I was okay. I was prepared. And Mike, the dupe apocalypse, the dupe purge, was the best fucking thing that could happen for me. Sellers no longer had their infinite supply. They just had 1. 1 of those things. Me, I had 34 accounts with 5 characters on each. In other words, I had a supply of around 150 plus of everything. And I had so many caps. And other, we all know what caps are in Fallout here. I don't need to explain, I don't think. And other resource items. There was now a lot of money to be made. And not a lot of people who could compete with me. But I did have one concern. The prices of weapons had previously been in the $4 to $12 range, considering the amount of competition. My bundles would sell from $10 to $40. This was no longer sustainable. I no longer had an infinite supply. I had a finite amount that I could play with. And the inventory of others who didn't lose everything were thinking similarly. We could no longer sell our duped inventory at such cheap peasant prices. And so I watched and watched what happened on the websites. 2 other sellers were clearly prepared like I was. And so we convened. I reached out to them so that we could make a call together. In that meeting, We each decided on a price. I just can't believe this is happening in Fallout 76, given the reception that game got in its first 12 months. People like power. People like being strong. Chris! Next time you make a game for stream to play, we need some $2,000 fucking thing that makes number go up. And that's it. Done. Useless. It's fucking useless. Greed. Get greedy. We agreed that we would 10x the price. If a weapon used to sell for $7, it would now sell for $70, depending on rarity and other factors. I was scared. Scared that this business would die out after only 1 month. With the new price changes, I had many previous customers message me, very upset about what was happening. In fact, they were spamming me. They were outraged. They said they would no longer do business with somebody as greedy as me. I, of course, thought after receiving this initial feedback that my entire enterprise was doomed. People were not happy with what we'd put in place. I thought I would just dump my remaining inventory at some low price so I could wash my hands of the whole thing. However, all I actually had to do was wait 4 hours. It seems I had severely overestimated people's ability to be fiscally responsible and their patience. I overestimated the mental acuity of people when it came to this sort of thing. I was so wrong. While some people that I had previously dealt with were extremely upset and made their disappointment clear to me, not only did other people replace them, but within 12 hours, the people who were very angry at me started coming back. They realized that the price was not changing. And they really, really, really wanted that thing. And I swear, Mike, some people see the bigger number as a challenge. The more they have to pay, the more valuable they see it. I don't understand. I so struggle to understand why you've got repeat customers. Are they building a collection? Because once you've got Giga Shotgun of the Giga, what else are you buying? Right? At that point. It's so confusing to me to have repeat customers because there's only a limited amount of the super good stuff. Like, how many Giga things of the Giga can you buy at that point? What are you getting? Using the same weapon over and over is boring. You need a variety. Right, but if you are... I understand what you're saying, Alandra, right? But I mean, look, I don't buy shit like this in games, so any help would be well worthwhile here. There can only be a limited amount of weapons in the game that can come with these affixes, right? We're talking about these weapons that do like 1,000x damage or whatever. And if you're buying stuff so regularly that you actually have a private contact to reach out to for items, and it's like $7 or whatever, surely you've bought pretty much everything that you want by that point, right? That's thing. No bigger than drug addiction. I just don't know enough about the game, I suppose, to know what more you're buying. What else are you getting? Well, I don't know. My guess is that they have no gratification of using a weapon they paid for, so they just buy a new one to feel good again. I mean, having said that, yeah, that's a good point. We've had that guy, when was that drama story? Maybe a few months ago, who just kept buying boosts and then deleting the characters in WoW, right? Do you remember that guy? And he spent like $10,000 on WoW boosts because he would buy a boost a character, and then delete the character, and then do it again. Over and over again. Yeah, like that's something that happens. That's just, it happens. It's weird, but it happens. Yeah, we had that one. It was really scary. Thankfully, that guy managed to sort himself out. It was painful, but here we are. This is painful as well. Okay, anyway. These people were so hungry for items. So hungry. And the actual recent purge made them hungrier. Because now they saw buying duped weapons as more rare. I want to die. I just want to die. As somebody who loves getting things by playing the game, I want it to just drop from the boss and beat the boss. The idea that there's now a prestige value attached to cheated, duplicated pixels is just insane. It's so insane. Christ. It also turned out that I had the largest inventory of all the sellers. I had everything they could hope for. The competition was still there, but most had been eliminated. And the ones that remained had done some preparation, but absolutely nothing on the scale that I had. And better than that, and it actually turned out to matter when it came to people parting with this amount of money, I had the best ratings on the website and eBay. I had earned trust. I don't think I had a single negative review by this point. I had officially become the Heisenberg of Fallout 76 real money transaction. I genuinely, as I type this to you all, do not mean it as a brag. Truly, more so to communicate to you all the scope of what I was doing. During that first month of doing RMT, I told you I had made over $10,000. After the Great Purge, my second month's earnings went up to $20,000. I obviously expected a much lower number considering what had happened, as I felt people had to acclimate to the new prices before they would purchase. But they purchased, and then they acclimated. After February, customers learned the prices were here to stay, and they stopped complaining. The whales came out in full force, and my business was racking up, and I am really, truthfully telling you here, to $50,000 to $70,000 a month. I was now working full-time, 24 hours a day. I would get notifications constantly of transactions being made. And I'm talking big ones. After the first month, people realized there was going to be a finite amount of items available, and people started buying in bulk. People purchasing single items were still there, but the bulks started to go up. And I put the same effort into completing a $1,000 transaction that I did into the fulfilling a $5 transaction. I still did small transactions typical of resource purchases, not weapons and armor. So for caps and whatever, what else can you even buy in that game? To keep people and ratings in. Honorable. At home, I was working. I would play a game and fulfill transactions on my other monitors. At school, I was not paying attention to a single thing. I was just sat in class on my laptop fulfilling orders. When I slept, orders came through. When I woke up, I had to try and fulfill all of them as fast as possible to prevent negative ratings. And the people who were left waiting and had to go to when I had to go to sleep at work, I would do theirs later in the day or the following days. I would become an absolute slave to transactions in Fallout 76. Bro, for $70K a month, you can be a fucking slave. You can be a slave for a bit, because you know it's not lasting forever, but you can be a fucking slave for a month. Yeah, oh, Diddums, right? You can suck it up. But, oh, he actually says it, but I had to be. I was making so much fucking money. I would sit in my class thinking about how I was making more money than probably everyone in this room was going to make in the next few years. I was making more money than the professor that was teaching me. The success I was getting was giving me so much confidence, I felt fucking baller. So what did I do with this money? What did he do with the money? What's the first thing he did with the money? All right. Picture yourself. You're sat there right now, and suddenly you've got 70K in the bank. Right? A car? No. He's a nerd. He bought a PlayStation 4 and a more powerful PC. Because he's still just a geek. Still just a geek. Yeah. Still just a geek. Still just a geek who doesn't want anything. This is the thing with people who aren't actually natural born greedy cunts. They don't really want anything. I'm good, dude. I'm good. This is more money than I know what to fucking do with. I'm not just going to blow it. I just want a nice PC, honestly. I might get an OLED monitor, maybe. I don't know, dude. I felt like it was time to look as baller as I felt. So I invested in a home gym bench and some dumbbells. I've got my PS4 and now I'm going to get some pecs. Yeah, dude. Gonna be a fucking bro. Gonna bro it up. Gonna bro it up. I would simply stay at home, fulfill orders between trying out some PS games and exercising. Everything I did had orders being fulfilled in between. There were just that many. I couldn't have a conversation with someone without kashing money sound effects on eBay. And for the next few months, that was my life. You got away with this for months. Eventually, though, however, some fucker found new ways of duping. And not only that, they found ones that did not involve server crashes. Competition returned. It was nowhere near as big as it was at the start of Fallout 76, and even if they could find the exact items at lower prices elsewhere, they came to me because I had the best reputation of a speedy turnaround and a trusted source of parting with their cash. Of course, I started getting a lot of DMs for better deals, cut out the middleman. And I would oblige. Unless I had scarcity problems. Because many items no longer stacked and inventory restrictions have been put in place with some patches, any dupe glitch that was found required the creation of new accounts to provide for more storage. Mike? At my peak, I had 80 copies of Fallout 76. 80. In between fulfillments, I created and maintained a massive spreadsheet detailing inventory and character login details. Every time a new dupe was found, they were patched relatively quickly. And during this window, I now had a new role. I would now understand the process was to race and dupe as much as humanly possible before the patch arrived. Bethesda were actually getting very good at turnaround on fixing dupe glitches. Dupe glitches were now a massive cause of stress and anxiety for me, knowing I had a small window to capitalize. Every day I had to fulfill orders, dupe items, look into new dupes, create new items, source new items to be duped, create new listings, prepare for the additional competition, look into what my competitors were doing, research them, find out if they were trustworthy, lower my prices to match theirs if they were getting sales. Every day I would be undercut, sometimes by so much that even customers who came to me for reputation were starting to go to them instead. And when they realized they could actually find other trustworthy people, now it wasn't about reputation, but about price. I had to be on the case. I had to constantly check for undercutting and make sure my customer base was not exposed to other sellers, giving them a better deal. This gig's turned into every minute I was awake. But because of my position in the RMT sphere, I had now made a lot of connections. If there was a new dupe glitch, I would find out almost immediately. Of course, people started charging me for this sort of privy information. Jesus Christ. So now there's a new business in finding dupe glitches and now charging him for the dupe glitch. We've got a new money-making scheme. This is what we're doing now. I would pay my connections, and my connections would ask how much money I was making. I would always give a reasonable answer, around 4 to 5k a month, which is really good money at a glance, especially to a bunch of nerds playing Fallout. The reality was far, far different. But I was afraid now of two things. One, that they would charge more for their services if they knew I was making more money. And two, that they would get ideas about getting into the game themselves if they realized that actually duping and not selling the dupes was far more profitable. And I did not need more competition. So I lied. I would always lowball them, but make it believable enough based on what was on the surface. Very rare weapons that had yet to be duplicated were highly sought after. At one point, I sold a single Fallout 76 gun for 1,000 flat. $1,000 for a Fallout 76 gun. I purchased the gun off one of my competitions for $500, and then I duped it, sold the first copy for $1,000. The person I sold it to then duped it and sold and gave it to a bunch of people. Within a few days, the gun was selling for $30. What the fuck are you guys doing? What the fuck are you guys doing? Just fucking insane. This is insane. You're probably wondering how long this went on for. 2 years. 2 years I did this. I graduated from college. I even asked a girl out. I can't deny that my success gave me a lot of confidence. I felt I was unstoppable. Usually, I was a very timid person, but not now. But during these 2 years, I was working my ass off, stressing, doing competition, learning. The first year was the most lucrative. Life was stressful, but it was good. It was very good. But as you could probably imagine, all things must come to an end. And here we go. Act 3 of this tale, I got greedy. Now you're getting greedy? Now he gets greedy. Here is where the guilty verdict comes. Bro, you were guilty in chapter 1. Are you kidding me? Now you're guilty? Now you're guilty. You have done nothing, at least for the first few months, but torment and harass people by simply crashing the servers, bro. Jesus Christ. Now is guilty. All right. 21 months. 21 months after it began, I was greedy. I was still the biggest in the business, but no longer the giant I used to be. It really did feel like I had a monopoly at some point. The Chinese sellers especially became problematic. There were many of them working together, whereas I was a solo act. And with the help of a few connections here and there, was all I had. The only positive thing that came from the competition was that I had more time to spend with my girlfriend, friends, and family. But then, one of my contacts told me that he was part of a Discord where they had found a new dupe method. And this one was one of the most egregious of all. It wasn't an actual dupe. Instead, they had found a way of simply creating a weapon or armor with any stats or passives you desired. They had even managed to create items with passives that were not technically allowed to be on those items. And there was one more thing. The software that was being used was spyware. It grabbed all login details and put them onto a spreadsheet of people who had used the software. He told me that only 8 people knew of this particular detail, and he was one of them. And so I decided to test it. I used this software on a dummy account to create a new wave of inventory, working pretty much 24/7 until it was caught and patched by Bethesda. But I wasn't finished. After posting all the new items I had created, I got in touch with my contacts and asked how much he wanted for the spreadsheet of all the dupers because I had all their details. He didn't even want money, he just wanted certain items. Items these people on the list had. And chat, whatever you think I'm about to do next is exactly what I did. I did research on these accounts and I did 3 things. 1. I identified when they would most likely be asleep. 2. I logged into their accounts, stole their inventory, stole inventory I didn't have and inventory my contact wanted, and deleted everything else. 3. Contacted Bethesda on their accounts and admitted to duping, hoping that they would be banned with a message of, please don't ban me. That's fucking scorched earth. That is legit just straight scorched earth. I, of course, was hoping that if I did this admission and they checked their inventories, that not only would that account be banned, but all their other accounts assigned to the IP. It's particularly the ones that I couldn't access because they didn't use the software with them. It partially worked. Some of my competitors vanished overnight. Some suddenly started delisting items that I had stolen and would not post for sale until I knew for sure that somebody else was selling them first, so as to avoid suspicion that I was involved. I have no doubts that I ruined the livelihoods of some people who are making some form of living via this. But fuck them. I did it anyway. Ultimately, I wanted to make more money. Yes, I'm guilty. You don't need to tell me. I know. I knew from the moment the thought crossed my mind. Through the rush of adrenaline as I did it, and even into the aftermath that followed. Months after this, however, Bethesda eventually did what they should have done and became the judge, jury, and executioner. One day, after almost 2 years of my empire going strong, I got a $500 purchase. As I went to log into the account with the purchased items, I got a notice of permanent suspension. Uh-oh. I was shocked and also terrified. I had expected a suspension to come eventually, but this is exactly why I spread out my inventory, so that one suspension would not disrupt the operation. But the terrifying thought that perhaps every account had been struck was strong as my mind as I panicked logging into other accounts. My fears came true. Every account I had, with the exception of 3 for some reason, had been permanently suspended. I was devastated. I had a $500 transaction to fulfill, and now I simply couldn't. I immediately delisted everything to avoid further purchases and told my customer to accept the refund I was offering. But I was prideful and I was embarrassed. I didn't want to reveal the real reason, so I told him that something had come up and I wouldn't be able to fulfill the transaction for a while, and that I would fulfill the purchase at half price specifically for him for the inconvenience. He, of course, accepted the refund. And Mike? I was gone. I disappeared. I vanished. I didn't even bother playing the game after this. I did this for 2 years, and I know it's probably the question that many of you are asking. And so I will tell you all here. Judge me a liar or judge me true, but I swear to you it's the truth. I made nearly $1 million on selling dupes from Fallout 76. It was cut in half because of self-employment taxes, go US. I stepped away from Fallout 76, deleted my business discords, and completely cut myself off from the RMT community. And as far as everyone knows, I might as well have just died. I was gone. They probably correctly assumed that Bethesda got me, but they will never truly know what happened. One day I was there. The next day, I was gone. I haven't seen or read any messages from these people in over 5 years. I refuse to. It pains me to look at anything related to Fallout 76. I don't know anything about 76 after 2020. It is a reminder of the empire I had once and lost. But it was liberating in a way. For 2 whole years, I essentially worked 16 hours a day without a single break. Everywhere I went, everything I did, accompanied by a notification of purchase made. I was free. I made the best of an amazing opportunity, and now I could just live for a while. And so, I want you to come to the end of this story. There are so many more details that would double the length of this, but I had to cut out a lot of the business stuff, and it's already a big, long story. Am I guilty? Of fucking course I am. Was von Luger pivotal in enabling me? Yes, is what the authors put. Did the people whose accounts I got into and effectively destroy deserve it? No, they absolutely didn't. Would I do it again? Absolutely I would. I'm not a good person. But I came across the opportunity of a lifetime from a YouTube video and made something incredible out of it. After my downfall, I had more money than I knew what to do with. So, I paid off my student loans. I bought a house at age 23. I bought a car. And I invested my money. I ended up getting engaged to my girlfriend at the time. That did not work. Another story for another time. I often think back to this chapter in my life. I use the date of my judgment as a measuring stick for where I am in life now. This Christmas, for example, will be 5 years post-judgment. And with that, I bid you adieu. I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I enjoyed telling it. Truth be told, I wanted to write this a couple of years ago, but even then, I still really didn't want the taste of what I did in my mouth. But I got over it with the help of my lovely girlfriend, who encouraged me to tell it as best I could. So, to everyone who heard this, I wish you all the best. And if you played Fallout 76 during 2019 to 2020 and had a very, very good item a friend gave you, or perhaps even an item you bought, just know that there's a very good chance that it came from me. Your very own Fallout Heisenberg. I don't think we can doubt the intrigue and interest of the story. Guilty as all hell, but a story worthy of the title. And a story worthy of the show name Drama Time for damn sure. My God. Scroll down. Oh, he's put his feedback up here. Oh my God. I don't want to put this up because there's some real names. He's provided a screenshot. Oh, he's told us who he is. Oh, is this for verification, Bex? Okay, well, I will not reveal the name because part of Drama Time is to remain anonymous. It is the one trusting bind I have between you and me in order to make this show work is to keep you anonymous. But he's actually provided evidence of who he is. Yeah. Some of the most of the responses are quick reply and delivery, great shop, great seller, good to talk to, A+, great experience every time I buy from them. Look at the prices, though. $20, $20, $45, $35, $14, $22, $50, $25, $25, $25, $10. Why are you buying Fallout 76 weapons? Well, that brings us, obviously, we're like 20 minutes over time. That is the end of Drama Time for this week. We're back on Monday. We're going to complete Halo 2, and then we're getting in preparation, of course, for the WoW Housing, which starts next week. I believe we also have a bunch of Midnight copies to give away, maybe? I'm not sure. There's been a ton of activity I can see going on my Discord all day, so I'll catch up with that after we finish today. But we should have some giveaways and stuff for you next week, something along those lines. But have a great weekend, everybody. I'm Rugby Dad this weekend. I've got 2 rugby games to attend and a bunch of other things to do. So for now, I shall see goodbye. Bye, everybody. Be good.